Hello. Hi. Mo is here.
No,
Look how scruffy and gorgeous Eddie's looking. Do you guys see this? He didn't want to show, but I'm like
it's
loving
me.
this look. Hey, Julie.
Hi,
um,
Mo. Hi, Julie.
Kylie had a lunch date or a dinner date with a friend, and if she gets home in time, she's gonna pop in too. So she's just been really busy, and she was on like jury duty, and she's had some stuff going on. Um,
Investigating murder.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love how they say murder, and I always want to ask her to say it, but I feel bad. But
Oh
I love
no, you
when
can
they say
ask her. Yeah. I
murder,
kind of
murder.
figured people would be asking her to say words, like, and they never have. So maybe we should stop and like have a moment where that happens next
Just say, can you say certain words for us? Just
time.
in your
Okay, say
accent.
this now. Oh, hey, Yolanda.
Murder. Okay. You want to go
Okay.
desktop?
Yeah, we're showing our face for a minute. I'm gonna be switching back to this view just so you guys can see the finished product of the shrine we've been working on, and we're going to read some cards first. Are you ready for that?
Yay! Let's get to
Yay,
the card.
yay. So I'm going desktop here. Let's see. It doesn't just like, I wish I could just switch it back and forth. Okay, so sorry, it's not there. It was in my face. So there we go. And I'm going to bring it down a little bit. There we have it. No dizzy, no dizzy. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do. Hello, if you're new here, thank you so much for being here. Um, you know, I love all of the community that we have here and the sort of camaraderie that we have built here. And I just absolutely love it. I haven't been so worried about views and all of I know it sounds crazy, but I'm just really loving being with my friends here, and anybody that wants to join us, that's amazing. Please subscribe, push all the buttons. You know the drill. I don't have to say it all over again. Okay, we're gonna pull a few cards here. I finally pulled a box out. I had this, it was sitting empty downstairs on Bill's desk. I had just set it there. So this is perfect for the cards. And it's no longer in a cardboard box, I guess. I also want to share this with you guys. So I was feeling like, about, like politics and everything that's going on here. And he is out of a book, and it was an art book, and they were showing like political satire as it begun. And I thought, you know what? He needs some wings. He's standing on some books because he's so short. He's got that big giant head and he's angry. And I just thought, you know what? Let's make him happy. I love it. So that's why he's sitting on my desk, and then he'll go away.
You need some thoughts in that big head of his.
He needs some thoughts. You think so?
Yeah.
Maybe some fairy thoughts, some happy thoughts, some of those. So we have Mo and Eddie with their tool belts on today. They're gonna be able to share with us any links because they are so fast. I can't do it. Did you not entrance her with your awesome eyes? Eddie, are you entrancing me? Whoa, that one's coming out. Okay, and then I'm just going to pick some here. We got this one wants to come out, and we've got that one that wants to come out. All right, and we know that's first, second, and third. Gratitude. We get gratitude a lot, quite a lot, actually. And we're just going to pull one of these because they're such nice words. And this is for our best and highest good to help get us through the week and inspire us for some goodness in our hearts. And then we have this because it's gorgeous and it's new. So we're just going to pull. Oh, that one wants to come out right there. Okay. Ooh, okay, I'm going to read these first. All right. So we have expansiveness. Eternity is far more creative than the rigid, constrained, and exhausted ego. Yes. Eternity is far more creative than the rigid, constrained, and exhausted ego. That's good. Right action. It's a word that I don't know. Aperigrapha literally means let out everything that wants to go. Go, and everything that wants to come. Huh. I don't know what that word is.
Can
I'll
you
have to
spell
take a
that
picture
word?
of it. Huh?
You spell that word?
It is a crazy it is Aperigraha. Huh. I'll have to think on that. It's too deep for
Oh,
right
it's a
now.
yoga philosophy.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Translates to non-possessiveness, non-greed, non-attachment, encouraging
Oh,
the letting go of excessive attachments and desires. And it's
interesting.
the fifth of the 5 yamas or restraints in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras.
That is also the ego. They're
Mhm.
talking about the ego and letting things go. And that was in the first card. Isn't that crazy? And then
It's not all about us. It's about
it's
all
about
of
the
us.
big, all of
Big
us.
picture.
Yeah. We're all connected. And then gratitude. Fill me with gratitude for all you give. May I be a vehicle for you wherever I go. And I think it's may I be a vehicle for me and my higher self wherever I go. And allowing your higher self to come through and help. Oh, are you still there, Eddie? Did we lose Eddie? I heard a click as he went out. Are you there?
I am here.
Okay, it made a sound like someone was coming in or out, and that was
But
weird.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay,
you. I had
perfect.
to I
think
actually had to
refreshed
re-add
something
you.
by mistake, and it just all went.
Oh, okay. Hi, Sherry. You made it in time for this. This is about self-love. It's funny. It's gratitude and ego over here, and it's self-love here. Today, I love myself fully. I accept myself exactly as I am. I am able to recognize my own divinity and to appreciate the purity of my soul. I take the time to care for myself. I enjoy myself. I nourish myself. I am kind to myself. I am grateful for who I am. It really goes with that. And then, of course, these new cards, because they're so artistic and beautiful. And she is in a forest, in a dark forest, and it's Rhapsody in Shadows. It's beautiful. I like how dark these cards are. I do like that. Okay, so I will be taking a picture of these afterwards. I'm going to set them up here in the little ledge, and then we'll put these back in the box.
Okay,
And
Julie's ready. She has her tea.
you have your tea.
Ready to go. What kind of tea are we drinking today, Julie?
Too much E today, Mo says. I don't know what that means, but I do know what that means. But I don't think you know what that means.
That kind of E or
that kind of what? What are we talking about here? Okay, so I'm going to put the box away, put the cloth away, put it back up here where it goes. It has a spot now. It has its own spot. All right. You see this? I am going to share with you the finished. I'm going to have to flip over my camera so you guys can see how this hangs here, or maybe you can see it. I don't know. So yeah, I'll have to flip it over. So this hangs. This has actually got an old, it looks like Masonic, but I think it's a high school. It's old though. Like, do kids even get these anymore? I don't know. Let's see. And I can't remember why I felt like that. Oh, it's the writing on the back, but it's super old. And then I used some of the old bingo chips here. This is completely rusted, and I attached it. Let's see. You should see it hanging. I did attach these, and sometimes I like to leave things like this loose. so that they can be taken in and out, or, you know, I can put something else in there. But I did attach these just here and left a spot here. I've got this little Buddha bell I'm hanging here. And then, of course, that piece. And I did add more of the blue beads, the blue glass kind of sand stuff. And I will get in there, show you that. Okay, and I'm going to flip it over so you guys can see. Let's see. I'm moving this. I'm going to flip the camera so you guys can see how it hangs, okay? And Eddie.
Not a word.
Okay. So I'll show you, and hi, how it kind of hangs there. And I love it. The draping going on right here. It's opposite, and I'm weirding out about it. And that
Turned
is
out so
our
good.
gorgeous, gorgeous box. I love how it came out. Oh,
Anne,
sorry. Let me fix that. There we go. And hello. So there it is. I can't mirror. I'm so bad at mirror.
Sharon, can you explain to Julie what the glass is that you use?
It is kind of it's not beads, it's a glass texture. And it's not sea glass, it's shiny like, oh, I'm holding it up to the camera. Here, I'm gonna switch the camera back over, okay? Let's see. Got my paint shirt on today, you know. Okay. So it's like a textured, you saw me pull it out last time. It came in this container in a craft lot that I got. Pull it out. I think it's a piece of Tupperware. So it's not in its original, you know, it's kind of like glitter, but it's glass. Whoops. There we go. See that? It would be great in paste, and I'm sure it's something similar to the glass texture paste with the glass beads in it. I'm sure it's similar, but it's gorgeous, and it's just the right color.
I was going to say the color just works really well.
I think that's the first or second time I've ever used it, and if there was a first time, it was very small. It does work really well, and the gold leaf. Oh. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, this is finished. I'll have to get some good pictures of her. And that's always the hard part for me, when they're big things like this. I almost have to hang it on the wall to get it. Okay. So let's fix this. And how we doing today? We're going to talk about our next project, and it's going to be something that anyone can join in and do. You can do 2 pages, you can do 10 pages. We're going to make, and it'll be my very first one, a tab book, you know, with the tabs that are in between each other. That way it can grow and you can make as many pages as you want. But the goal here is to make it super grungy. Like, I have not made one. I do everything grungy. But let's call this super grungy, like it's been through the wars, like it's been through a fire, like it's been handed down and it's dirty and it's, you know, I want that. And the reason why is because of all of the sort of experiments that we get to do creating that. Like I'm thinking grunge and gold leaf. I want to put gold leaf on grungy fabric with phrase and, you know, so I want to have some shiny elements to it, but a lot of grunge. What do you think?
I think it sounds great.
I think I love an experiment, and I think everybody that's here that loves mixed media, which is probably every single one of you, also loves a good experiment.
That's how we learn.
That is how we learn. And, you know, we'll come up with ugly things. We come up with things we love. Here's something that I did the other day. I have had this printed out forever. It was a digital kit that I got like 4 years ago. I don't know, something like that. And it was just in a folder. So I've been kind of playing with these, and I did go over it with glossy accents because, you know, it makes the color come out richer, and then I could do the shape that I can then cut out and use, and it's got some texture. And I love these. I cut out most of them, put them in a container, but you can build it up. So that's something you can do. Little experiment there. So what I have here and what we're going to play with today are strips. Now, strips are inspiring. They are so useful. You could use them as straps on things. They can be your tabs on your pages. They can be, you know, made of fabric, made of paper. You guys have seen my rip strips. I've made several videos. There are some that we can just tear off and use as an element on a page, or we can use it like a belly band or a tuck. They're multi-purpose useful. So we're going to play with some strips today. And I have some plans there. And I kind of went through my stuff and pulled out I went through and just like pulled out the muted colors, the black and whites, the old ugly gel prints that were ghost prints. So the color is very muted. I've got some super grungy coffee dyed and dirt dyed envelopes here that I did a long time ago. I've got some pieces of book pages, but I kind of went through my scrap bin to pull these together, and they're all those sort of muted colors. Some of this isn't out of my scrap bin. I've got this canvas fabric here. So that's a lot of fun. And then I also have this. It's a collage. And I set up my cart too. We can use rusty nails here. We can use rusty safety pins, lots of fabric. I want to see irregularly shaped pages. That means maybe torn. Kylie's kind of doing, she's done a scroll like this where all the pages are torn and it has that super grungy look. And I love that. It can be lots of string and texture. And that way, if you only want to do 10 pages, you know, it's a growing spine and it's not going to be a gator mouth. It'll lay the way it lays, you know. But I went over this collage just on a piece of packaging, and it was like one of the envelopes. And I was going to use it for something else, and then it wouldn't fold right. It wasn't working. So I decided I would tear it up, and I'm going to use some of this for pages or for whatever the purpose. But it's got texture paste. I ordered more crackle paste, by the way. Stuff like that. And I think with our pages, we need to have something that's a little thicker. So keep that in mind when you're putting your bin together. This is going to be all about layers. So you want to pull together those colors, those ugly things that you didn't know what to do with. Really, seriously, bring the ugly stuff out. We can push back color. There's different ways we can add and push back what's there. If, you know, like they're the ones you don't like. We want to see different textured papers for pages or for the layers at least. I think that's a lot of fun. And these are going to be individual. So individual as in the tabs will be connecting individual sort of thicker pieces. Okay. And I want to do lots of flips and flaps and, you know, stuff like that. Is this the move for flips? Flips and flaps?
I don't know, but this sounds like it's going to be awesome. So I can't wait.
Well, I hope it comes out the way I plan, but I do have, I've had this made for a very long time. It's been around my desk for years. I kind of hung it on one of the shelves, and it kind of looks like a garter belt, like a garter, not the belt, the garter.
Yeah.
And this was a word that was it was out of a book, and it's kind of, you know, cardboard, and it's on file folder. File folder is a great base for things, and I think that's what I'll be using for the basis for my pages. I love the green one. but I think this is really fun, and this is a good inspiration for what the book is going to be about, like with the rusty fabrics and the, coffee dyed. If you don't have mica, let me get them out here.
Powders?
No, not the
Right.
mica powders. I'm sorry, the walnut crystals.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Walnut crystals. I'm looking for the jar of them, and I don't see them. They're supposed to be up there, but walnut crystals and water, that's what's in here. And this will be kind of a great way to add color, push back if there's bright colors there. A little spray of this really mutes them. It doesn't get rid of them, it mutes them, and it makes them look grungy and old, which I love. And you guys know me. I like it grungy. Yeah. And maybe you have some of the distress oxides in maybe the tea dye or the walnut stain. If you don't have walnut crystals, instant coffee or regular coffee, made kind of thick, and maybe it's the pot that's been sitting there for a long time, or a press pot that's been sitting there and it's just gotten darker, and you want to use that with a little bit of vinegar in a spray bottle. So that's a good base to get us started.
Why the vinegar?
Yeah, the vinegar is to preserve it. Otherwise, you're going to have, it's going to smell like moldy coffee.
Got it.
After a while. I mean, it takes a while for it to happen, but that tiny bit of vinegar makes a difference. And I mean, just a tiny bit. That's all you need. And the smell will dissipate from the coffee and the vinegar over time. So it doesn't take long. Yolanda has walnut crystals in the infusion powder. Oh, yes. I love those. I have the rust powder, the rusting stuff, but I don't have any of the infusion powders. And I have put them on my list several times. They're just not available where I normally order things. I would have to go to different websites for them, like where they sell kind of joggles, that sort of stuff. And isn't it a Canadian or a European company? Does anybody know? I don't know. I feel like it's a UK or Canadian based company with joggles, because that's where you'd get the infusions, right? They're connected somehow. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, oops! I just spilled some of mine.
Yeah, I do have the infusions too, and they are UK based.
Yes.
Okay.
So they're harder to get over here.
They are paperartsy.com.
Right. And I do have this. I have my rusting powder, and I think I'll be using this. Oh, France. That's right.
We were corrected by Miss Cookie Wookie.
That is why. Let's see. Seth Apter. He does his stuff through the same company, and he'll sell these once in a while on his website. He's based in New York, but he goes back and forth to France, and all of his pastes and stuff, they come from that company in France. I do know. So, yeah, I forgot that they were connected too. Anyway, I'll be using this. And of course, I've got vinegar and a spray. There's my walnut crystals right here. I got them right here. So we'll be doing experiments with wax, and I might bring out some plaster to do some plaster fabric. I've seen people do that, and it does dry fast. I'm trying to figure out, what the formula is to make that happen. So we have a little moment to work with it. And so it doesn't just crack off, and then you have a shedding journal. We don't want that. We don't want our books to shed.
No,
I mean, maybe in a box. I mean, it's okay, a little shedding, but we're really going to utilize the things that make it rusty or dirty. So should be a lot of fun. And I love an experiment. I also have some weird things here, like this is really old, and it is a brown fabric ink from Stampcraft, but watch, it's got a little sponge on it, and it's so good. It's like good for paper or fabric, and it's kind of fun to play with. So look through, you know, you might find something in your stash. This came in a lot, probably with those glass beads.
Cheese though.
I'm gonna mute you, Eddie. There you go. This I didn't buy this. This came in a lot, probably with the blue beads, because there were several I bought years ago. And it's just really handy, and I forget to drag it out. So now's the time. I also have my Seth Apter. Where's it at? Oh gosh, I just dropped all my sponges and my ink and my goodness sakes. I have some Seth Apter, some of the clear paste that he has in a brown that I keep forgetting to use, and it's just gotten thicker over time. It's somewhere right here. So I think it's with my glue right here in front of me. It's just hiding in a wall of glue and pastes and stuff. Anyway, should be a lot of fun. Just go through your stuff. Think, you know, I'm not using this, or, you know, I forgot about this, that sort of stuff along the grungy color lines. You could, I mean, you don't have to do it in grungy colors like dirt colors. You can say you want a red book, make it red. That's fine, but there's a way to grunge them out. So anyway, oh, pressed flowers. These came from a trip in the car. There's some Indian paintbrush there, and daisies are my favorite. And I don't remember what these were, but they're beautiful. And I thought, you know, this is a good time to use these sort of things. Also, your eco prints. Oh, let's put Eddie back. There we go. Eddie, are you there? Unmute. There we go.
Yes, I'm here.
I just did that because you were talking to your, I'm assuming.
Oh,
brother.
yeah. I try to tell him to be quiet, but he doesn't.
Oh. Oh, and this. Bring out your old English. This is your chance, you know? This is the time. So we're talking about texture and lots of layers and lots of fun. Let's work with strips today, though. I do have some ideas. So, you know, we made those strips the other day that were the fringy. I just had them too. Where did I dump those? Oh my goodness. I really do have an organized mess here. I don't know what I did. You know the strip things we did the other day that were sprayed, and they have.
Yeah, we did them a couple of weeks ago.
I just had them right here in front of me. Where did I set them? They're in a bag. Oh gosh. So I'm also going to be using some real ephemera that I've had floating around, and you know, things like that, because I don't use them. And I have quite a bit of that stuff. Where in the world did I set it? Anyway, those would be great for this, because they're your layers, they're your strips. And I think what I'm going to get out here, I'm going to go through my little bin here. This, that's like ephemera, and we'll do some aging, and we'll do that on camera different day. But first things first, we want to get a little box within our box that's going to have some of the elements that we've made. And some collage going on. Maybe, you know, pick through and get a first batch going. For the strips, you're going to want probably fabric, cardstock, that sort of thing. You know, your smaller bits here would be really good. I have all kinds of crazy stuff here. But I think for the very first ones, I think maybe we'll use that. Maybe this one. These are cardstock. So strips are really a great thing to put on an envelope too. We'll keep one of those out to remind us right there. Where's your head?
So Julie says that in Australia they have something similar to the Old English. It's called Gillies Scratch Cover.
Well, there you go.
Isn't that a great name?
That's it. That's great. Gilligan?
Gillies.
Gillies. Hey, tea bags. Your old tea bags, coffee filters, the stained ones. These are great for muting things. It's kind of like using gesso to push it back. I do have here, I started a little
Also,
box.
tissue from like pattern making
Oh,
stuff.
yes.
That's
Oh,
great too.
that is perfect stuff too. That really is. That's the best. So I have this here, and it's got like some things, some focal points, and some smaller bits that I can take downstairs with me if I want to continue downstairs to have a play. This is what I might take with me, and I'll add more stuff to it. But I just started these boxes today, so I mean, I think I did pretty good for a morning's work. For a morning's
I
work.
know, I forget. It's still, you're 3 hours away. It's still early over there.
What's that?
I keep forgetting you're on the West Coast.
Oh, yeah.
It's way earlier there.
So I did do got that. These are, these use your ugly gel prints and your packaging. That's what this is. They were just ghost prints. So here's one that I did make, and it's not a strip, but it's a little something. I wanted to start with a piece of grunge to begin with. It's on a actual file card.
Rolodex cards, yeah.
Yeah. And then I've got this boy, and that was how I used some of those. But look at what this is. It's from a I should tear that off.
Packaging.
It's from the back of a notebook, like a
nice.
yellow notebook. And I decided to, there it is.
Use those edges to your advantage.
Exactly. And there's another one. And I've never been much of a, and check it out. These are old book pages, and I found words that I liked, and I used the glossy accents, and I did a couple layers, and I went over, and it says her China blue eyes, and I went over it twice. So that part stands out because it's raised and shiny. Cool. I thought that was fun. You guys can sew these. They would look amazing with some stitches and some kind of loose threads and things hanging off of them. It's a good way to get some depth. And I did this. I don't know if did I show you guys this?
I think you showed us this last live stream. Is it alcohol inks?
It is alcohol inks, and you can see through them. So get those black and white photos out that you've been wanting to use. Add some drips and, of any kind of transparent color so you can still kind of see through. I think it looks amazing. And
I think it looks pretty cool.
This is the inspiration for the project, honestly. This right here. This was what inspired me to think, let's do something old and super grungy.
Hi, Rhonda. We got another West Coast.
Oh, hey, Rhonda. Glad you made it. Okay, so these will actually go in my box, these pieces that I pulled out eventually. And this will probably, I want to have irregular. Going to start with 10 pages. I'm going to have irregular sort of edges on them and different sizes. And I think this will be bound in and be somewhere along. I will have to rough up these edges and make it look older, but that's what I do. So anyway, I'm going to put these off to the side. You guys can go through things that you've already made too. Because I bet you have some things that'll go with this book. I bet you do. I'm just pulling out some pieces to put on our strips here. There's some bubble paper. It was
I still have some bubble paper you sent me.
Oh yeah.
I use it little by little.
You can cut off. These are the things like left over from projects that they're the offcuts. And this was on a piece of packaging that I had glued that to for one reason or another. And
I would say save your scraps because you never know.
This is the scrap. This is the scrap busting project right here. So I do have some envelopes. I did not make these, but my mom brought them to me. She got them, I don't know, at a yard sale or something. There was like 100 of them. That's number 87. These are also from the file boxes, and it's super hard. And I think this would make a really nice page. I really do. That's about the general size of the tab book that I want to make. Did I talk about tabs?
Yes.
Okay, so there's
You
that.
even did the tab dance.
I did this. Yeah, the tab. This is flippy floppies, and this is tabs, guys. You got it? You understand? You get it now? So cardboard, old wallpaper, things like that. Let's put some of these on our strips. Nope. Maybe. These are the grungiest scraps, I tell you. Grungy. You know, all those times that you scraped off your stencil or used texture paste and you didn't like it, or I don't know about you, but I always do like 4 or 5, and then I have something to choose from when I'm doing a project. So I'll do the same thing over and over until I find the one I like. So anyway, so that's that. You know, I could actually go to my strip bucket because I do the rip strips and find some that are already cut, I bet. We'll go ahead and use this one. Okay, so first of all, I think I want to make some straps first. And strap as in something that can be used, say, over an envelope or a pocket. Like, let me get an envelope out here. Oh, we have this envelope. So say maybe it is a strap that goes over an envelope like this and it holds it down, something like that. That's kind of the thought. So I think I need to cut these ones. I'll have a lot of torn edges, but this one needs cut. I want to do it like sort of, this has got some rusting powder because this was just on my desk and I did a project. Maybe I'll do a fat one too, I think. Okay.
Don't worry, Julie. That's okay. She feels bad that she's not crafting along.
That's okay. That's all right. So I kind of want to add, if I'm going to do a strap, I'm going to add something to be kind of a label or a place for a label. So I want a piece of paper that's going to be maybe plain. And I need to make this darker, I think.
Hello, Alice. How are you?
Oh, hey, Alice. Glad to have you back. Dropping in to say hi. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. How about this? How about this piece of wallpaper? How about we do it like that? First of all, let's age this a bit. Let's do it with, I'm going to spray on my desk, like like a crazy person. Usually I do this in a box.
It's still
and
wild.
then maybe some of this tea dye. I'm unsure of these colors. They came in a set, but I'm unsure of them. That one looks so pink to me. I know I have to spray it with water. And this is the antique linen.
Are those the oxides?
Yeah, they are the oxide. So I'm going to spray them. Sometimes I spray an oxide with my walnut spray also. But this tea dye looks so pink to me sometimes. And it's crazy. So there's those. And we'll let these dry for a moment. And meanwhile, I'll do one that's not been sprayed with water. I've got this canvas and I had scraped paint on it that was just like left over in my palette. And you don't have to have canvas for your tabs, but I would recommend something a little thicker. So at least cardstock, or fabric covered. Maybe we take some of these, the stickers that you get from packaging, and put them on the back of fabric so that they are backed and they're a little heavier. That's a good thing to do with that. Let's see. Let me grab some fabric and I'll show you what I mean. denim.
Yeah, Rhonda, you're right. Yeah, Darcy was making an inky painty mess on her recent video. She's good at that too. Getting all
Say I want to
messy.
use some of the rusty fabric, but this isn't like strong enough to be a hinge, one of these hinges, or it's not a standalone strong enough piece. So I'm going to take some of this off and I'm going to leave all those threads. I like them, especially for this project. Okay. And then I'm going to choose the side that I like and go to the other side. So this is the back. And then these stickers that you get in packaging that are unstuck, like they're part of the invoice. That's what this is. And it was cut off. So then
Hi,
take
Ann,
your
glad you found us.
sticker. Oh, hey, Ann Webb. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Everybody say hello and welcome our new friend, Ann. Friend. Was there a D in there? So all I did was put the sticker down. And what happens is it makes your fabric stronger so that you can use it for things like, oh, come on. Really? Really? Just really?
Because you're on camera. That's the only reason.
I know, right? Okay, so it made it strong enough that I could actually use this piece of fabric that was weak for tabs if I wanted to. And then you just have to glue them down. You can also go about gluing and putting it on the other side. So it's on both sides, but it's stronger because it's got that on there. I've used these before, you guys, on metal, on the coffee can. I'm grabbing it real quick here. I've used it on like this when you've got foil. That's another one of those stickers. I generally put those in the drawer. It's an invoice on a sticker, which is so wasteful, right? It's just wasteful. And this is a piece of foil that comes on a roll that I have. Just has some alcohol ink on it. So let's back that. So, and then you're not sticking it down. You're using the adhesive from the sticker to help you, because it's good adhesive, really. And then you glue it down. Let's see. If I go like this. So I'm making it stronger along the way here. I've actually never torn it like this to do it, but this is an irregular piece of foil. So what we're doing ahead of time kind of is making some of our layers so they are ready to be used as we go along our pages. Because this foil is really, really weak. It breaks easy. This way. And I'm making it stronger along the way. And I can even emboss this at that point. I'll go ahead and put the rest of this back here because why not, right? Because why not? Making it stronger with each layer. So I'll put this in our bin over here of goodies. These are still wet. All right, let's work on fabric first, I guess. So we're going to make some strips out of this, and let's assume that these can be used as book tabs, right? But I can also use them in other ways, like underneath something, underneath a label, maybe, or, and I'm going to leave that because I like it like that. Let's pull some of this over here. I've got some. I'm just going to play and you guys can chat. Eddie, you go ahead.
I know, I kind of muted myself for a second there.
That's okay. I've got this that I love. I've got some stickers. We did make these and I shared I didn't make them on camera, but I showed you with some of the straps. You can just go ahead and fold them in half and put an eyelet through them.
And you have that double-sided eyelet.
Yeah, it really does the trick. So let's see. Got this. It's kind of fun.
Julie says she glued paper onto calico fabric with Yes Paste and was surprised that she could peel the paper off. So
Oh.
she glued around the edge with art glitter glue and then found it takes some papers longer to set.
So let's say I use this on here. It's just a sticker. That's all. These are stickers that I hadn't used yet, and I realized it, and they're perfect for this project, for this book. And this is going to be a tab book. I know Lexi was saying she would do it if she knew exactly how many pages, because she gets the gator mouth. And I like the gator mouth, but I'm going to go right over those threads and right over that little crease in the fabric there.
I don't
Wouldn't
mind a
this
gator mouth.
This would look great sewn, actually, around the edges. So I'm still going to fray this, even though that's where the sticker is. So that's one way you can use some strips.
Nice.
And another, and the more layers you add and the more depth it's going to have and the more interesting it becomes, really. Let's do it this way. I've got all these different bins going on here. I need more. I didn't start it until this morning, and I do need more time to organize them. So if I wanted to do like a, let's see. Do it like this, and I'm going to put some eyelets in there, probably to hold it down. For decorating, more or less. Okay, so I'm going to use a little bit of this, just enough to get it down in the center, because I'm going to use eyelets too. And that was the 3-in-1. No. It's on me. Okay.
Get it off.
Get it off me. Okay, first I think maybe I'll use some brads, because you don't have to have eyelets. If you've got one or the other, it'll work fine. These are really shiny, and in the end, after these get assembled into a page, I will unshiny them. They're too shiny, I think, but
I have so many of those brads, but I left a lot of them in my storage, and I kind of needed some today for something I'm working on, and I only found like two of those super long, like big ones,
oh
and then
yeah.
a bunch of teeny tiny ones.
I forget to use them. So I've been trying to make myself, and I've got them underneath my desk now. So trying to remember to use these things, because I do love me some metal. So I'm just going to go in with my awl right away.
Yeah, I just got a new awl too, and it's so good, nice and sharp.
I've got several of them. I've got too many of them, and they're dangerous.
I take
If
these
you
to
have
protest.
cats, point them down. I'm always afraid my cat's going to jump from the shelf onto my desk, and there's dangerous things. She could hurt herself.
Oh,
Of course, I suppose for a human, it would be dangerous to have that upright, or the other way anyway. But even my palette knives, I have handle up.
I do the same thing, just more for my
Yeah.
safety, because I tend to just grab.
Oh, it's
stuff.
crooked. Look at that.
Oh
It's
no,
okay.
Julie, this sucker is
My eyes are crooked.
perfectly in my hand.
Oh,
Like I said, I take it to protests with me. Never know these days.
you're going to take an all to a protest?
I take
There you
them.
go.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Like
So
I go to protests.
let's see. And so let's say I want to use that. Make sure that your thing is wide enough to support, whatever you go to. Or you can write in a word. That's fine.
Mhm.
Or you can.
We need
use
a set of these, like you're looking through your set of
Yeah.
sentiments. We need to come up with a book of sentiments that reflects.
We ain't got nothing to
time
lose.
now.
Look at this. We ain't got nothing to lose.
That's
Isn't
right.
that the truth right now? That's the sentiment.
Perfect.
So there's that. And then this will just get glued down, but it's a good way to use that sticker and make your fabric stronger. I would have to go in
Look at that. You made that
Probably-
in like 2 seconds.
with an edge. Yeah. I mean, these are easy. It helps with the sticker, the leftover stickers. You could use, if you've got, maybe you found labels at a yard sale that are made for the computer, or, stick them to the fabric. And then
Most
just-
of that sentiment would be huge, Eddie. Well, do you mean the sentiment book would be huge in size or
Oh.
popularity?
yeah, that.
My first thought was the size.
So this is stuff I've never used, and I think it's good that I'm having that out, actually.
Use it up.
Use your washi tape here too. All your little pieces that you cut off. I mean, look how quickly those came together.
Yeah.
and
in no time.
no
Excuse me, in
time. All right. So this is still kind of wet, but I'm going to do this real quick here. I'm going to mute myself. Eddie, you're
Mute it. She's muted. I don't know what she's doing. I think she's going to talk bad about us. So let's talk bad about her while she's muted. I'm just kidding. She's doing her wah. Yeah, that would be great. One of those sentiment books that just has like stuff that we can use now. How great would that be? I might have to work on one of those. Alice says she bought a crocodile to add eyelets and haven't had any success. Might be my weak hands.
Oh,
Yeah, sometimes that can be tough if your hands aren't aren't up to it. I get
think-
the whole hand thing because sometimes, depending on the weather, my hands are very messed up. They
I
don't
think
like to
crocodile is
grab onto stuff.
supposed to help your hands.
Yeah.
It's supposed to make it happen more easily for you. You would think. So I'm gonna get out.
No,
I'm
Rhonda,
not-
it's Charming Luster. That's the name.
What?
My drag name over at PM Artist Studio. Charming
Oh. So I'm kind of thinking, what can I want to use an eyelet this time, and I want to have something more decorative here. And maybe I have it layered like this is instead this part right here, the white part. I use it like that. And I keep it in a strap so that it can be cut and used. However, I'm going to use it.
Anne, how did you break a crocodile? I would love to know.
Yeah, that's hard. That's tough stuff.
That sucker's strong.
Yeah. So let's see. I really want to see this a little more aged. So I'm going to use some the ground espresso.
Yeah, I have, Julie, I just have the one that has the pink handles, and it does just the eyelets and the hole punch. That's it.
So maybe I need some extra layers on this. Maybe I need to get some other things and then put this on the top. So sandwich some other things in there, like let's go with fabric-y stuff, or
Some fibers.
Yep, some sort of fiber. Let's see. Something I don't mind covering, really. Gotta be a different color, though. How about... This is the inside of a necktie. An old necktie.
Oh, yeah, look at
satin. You can stamp on this fabric. It is so great to stamp on. As a matter of fact, let's do that. And let's pull a little bit of this orange velvet out too.
FYI, this is just a little side note. So when I worked in retail, I had the misfortune of having to sell the Orange Man's clothing when it existed.
Oh, are you kidding? Really?
Yeah, this was years ago.
Really?
And so he called his neckwear luxurious and this and that. They were lined with foam, literal foam. That
are you kidding? Oh my goodness!
It was the worst clothing ever.
Okay, I'm gonna just use this.
And it was made in China.
I cannot believe it had foam.
Yeah, that was the lining because guys would come in and like, oh, these are nice and thick and luxurious. No, it's a cheap silk that's over a cheap piece of foam.
Wow.
And the cheaper brand ties were like a million times better than his stuff.
We're doing this backwards, the way I like it, you know, because I'm kind of backwards. Gonna use a bear in here.
I've heard that about you.
Yeah, I'm a little backwards.
I'm a little bit rock and roll.
I am very much rock and roll, yes. So look at that. It's beautiful. And I love it's got like a stain right here, and it's probably something I did. It's probably not a real stain. They take color really well. And you can splatter on them. That would be
nice.
a good way to do it. I don't want it to look like a necktie in the end. I want it to look like a layer. It's just a layer. So if I go like this, let's see if I can rip it. It's exactly the same width. That annoys me a little bit about that. So I'm going to actually take off this edge. Oh, isn't that a good sound? That's a good sound. Let's put it here. And we're rocking and rolling now, I'll tell you.
I think so.
I'm going to go this way with it. So I want to, the more layers you have in your grungy look, the better. So I'm going to do that unevenly.
So she buys silk ties at her local thrift store for $1 and takes them apart. That is a great idea, Anne, because a lot of times that fabric is really good. And it has some beautiful patterns and you know, so comes in handy for all sorts of stuff.
I have done that too, and I want to show you why. I started doing it years ago for this reason. I'm going to get one of these out. Just one I have handy here. They are hanging on an embroidery hoop behind me on the wall. Oh, darn it. Okay. So I used to sit and embroider them, and I believe it or not, I was thin enough I would wear them as a belt. I was DJing at the time, and I made my own clothes. But I would sit, and this is nice and heavy and drapey. It's got old beads on it. And there's a way to tie them to use them as a belt. You just kind of loop it through your belt loop and then bring it through. And it's so nice. Now they wouldn't go around my waist. There's no way. This is one that I had started that I hadn't finished. I have some that I have followed the pattern, like a floral pattern. These are just the ones I have next to me here. I've actually donated.
Rhonda says that a while ago, quilters were buying thrift store ties to make crazy quilts with. And I said, those are usually good fabrics, especially if it's a quality tie. That fabric is going to be really nice. and
So I could go all the
and
way
good
to
to
the
use.
top
So.
here.
I
Okay, I'm
couldn't
gonna
believe I used to sell, $400, $500, $700 ties, to these
that had
guys.
foam in them.
No. These
Oh,
were actual good quality
oh,
ties I used to
that's
sell.
really cool that you used to do that. I like
Yeah,
that.
for my last retail job was selling men's suiting and fine suiting and shoes and shirts and ties at
Hmm,
Nordstrom.
interesting. So
So
I'm gonna
yeah, I would
watch this
sell,
out.
Prada shoes, all that fun stuff.
Hmm,
Then before that, when I was in New York City, I worked the men's tie counter at Bloomingdale's, and that
interesting.
was fun. Yeah, I'd get a lot of the Wall Street guys come in and buy a bunch of ties, and it was awesome. It was really easy to sell.
Yeah, that is an easy sell. Because they need the tie. They want,
Yeah,
you know.
they want to be different than their buddies, and they want
Yeah,
to be the
yeah,
latest.
exactly. So I let this got a fold in it, a fold from, being pointed, and I'm going to leave it like that. I like it. So I tucked the piece underneath there. And I'm going to leave these like a rip strip so these could be put on a ring. If you want to make a bunch of these ahead of time and store them, you just punch a hole in it, put them on a ring. And I'm more thinking I need that to dry real quick because I don't want to gum up my crocodile. I guess there's a spot there.
Rhonda was a Nordy's gal back in the day.
Were you really? You worked at Nordstrom?
Did you work there or you shop there, Rhonda? I worked there. I didn't really shop there. I couldn't afford to shop there.
Yeah, no one can afford to shop there. What are we talking about here?
Although my salary was good there. I made really good commission when I was at Nordstrom, but unfortunately, at the height of that job is when the banks failed. So a lot of my clients went away.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
So it went through. I was afraid it wouldn't.
Oh, look.
The punch.
See, that's the crocodile I have. That's the one I have.
Yeah. Mine's secondhand. I don't have the book that goes with it. And I guess every time I use it. So.
Yeah. How you learn.
Yep. It is how you learn. That's how we learn everything, really. I mean, with art, you can learn by watching someone, or maybe you're one of those people that likes to do it yourself and likes to experiment. And that is what this is all about. And this whole book will be about that. So I can't get it to stay. Come on, get in there. Maybe I should have it the other way. No, the long one needs to go through there's two of them there. That's why. Gosh, I couldn't figure out what was
Rhonda,
going on.
They're notorious for their shoes. And I remember there were times where we would have to stay open and stay in our own departments because the women's shoe department was so busy that they didn't want to close the store. And so those shoe salespeople, they made so much money. So much money, but they had, these amazing shoes. I know, in the men's shoe department, I would do really well. I'd go over there and sell a guy 3 or 4 pairs of shoes, and that's 2 months rent right there for me.
Really? Did you make commission?
Yeah, make commission. Yeah.
Interesting.
It was nice.
I was a bartender.
Good times, they're gone.
I ran hard, like for 12 hours. And I made good money because I was running so hard. You had to work for it, but
yeah,
it was still good. And I didn't drink up the profits because I never really did agree. My body does not like alcohol very much. I'm the most likely to have a 3-day hangover.
Oh no.
Yeah. Just from a little bit of alcohol. A little bit. Just takes a little bit. Okay. And then, so I'm just putting these throughout, and I think it makes them, useful in many ways. The glue wasn't dry for the center one. So there's that. And then I'll want the glue to be dry for this one. Well, might be okay right there. Those are cool, huh? Lots of frayed string and
Nice.
yeah, I love them. Okay, and then I have 2 of them here. So I'm going to kind of pull this back a little bit. Get in there. I don't want it on this. There we go. I don't mind if that folds over it. It's kind of cool, but in a little bit. There we go. But that wasn't big enough, was it? I got to do the big one.
Size matters, folks. Size matters.
Size does matter. I really had to fuss with this for so long to figure out, the settings for different sizes. And I know that most of my eyelets are not the sizes that work on this. There we go. So we've got brads, we've got eyelets. Let's see how to use this, huh? Let's say I want to use one of the envelopes here. Let's layer up some goods on that. This way first, though. Oh, why am I putting that there? I can't put that there. Okay, so off to the side here with these guys. I've got this. Maybe it would be fun. This is just a copy, and it was done so I could get the center thing.
Mhm.
That's Lincoln. I don't want Lincoln, but I can see maybe that. And then these other things that I had pulled out here. And if this becomes a page, then it would be, got to think about how it opens, or maybe it becomes a flip so it doesn't matter. So that would be glued down to my page and it would flip out. So if I do that, go ahead and tear that, ink it. Don't forget the ink. Here's another, if you don't, I know you guys have seen me do this before, but I take these water pins and I put the coffee or the walnut crystals in it. You can also do it with the coffee, like a thick instant coffee, as long as it will still work down your brush, So I'm going to take this and just kind of drip some water on it. I use this a lot. I have one that has also has tea dye in it, or chicory, and the chicory is more of a yellow golden color. I was trying to wean myself off the coffee, and I knew that I had had chicory when I was younger, and I didn't hate it, but I hate it now. but I really dislike it now. So
we have a question in the chat.
Okay.
Yolande would like to know, or Devin Rex for Art would like to know, are walnut crystals on their own permanent?
Let's see. They are in most on their own, yes, with mixed with water. And they are most of the bases in your, like your Lindy's sprays with the sparkles. They use that as a base. The sepia tone that they have, walnut crystals. Walnut crystals are one of the first, like brown dyes. And should I open this? You guys can see it. There are things you can do to it to make it more permanent, but once it dries, it doesn't really move anywhere. And this, I have given walnut crystals to at least 3 people out of this. Enough for them to last a long time.
What size is that jar? Like a 4 ounce or something?
It's the only size that I've ever seen it come in. And it's 2 ounces.
Okay. I've seen that one. Yeah.
It'll take forever to go through this, like my lifetime. I will never have to buy another one of these. So it's a one-time purchase, most likely for you. And I use it a lot. So, you know, okay. So if I use it like that, I'm going to layer it on another piece here. And let's say it becomes a strap. It needs to be a wider piece. Maybe just
That's
this.
pretty. I like that color, the orange.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
I got that for the steampunk ornaments that I was making for the tree. So maybe it becomes a tie on here. Is this long enough? I don't think it is. I need another piece of that that's long enough to tie. So look at how gorgeous this is.
It is. That rust.
Such a great, yeah, this is some of my rusty fabric. Such a great use of this fabric. Okay. You don't have to have rusty fabric. You can, you know, lay a stencil down on your, this was the embroidery fabric. It has that print on it. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's very faint. And it would have been for embroidery. It was already printed. You can use an old bed sheet or a pillowcase.
Old bed sheets are great for this. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's just cotton, you know.
Yep.
Lay a stencil down on it, spray it with some walnut, you know, crystals and water or your coffee, whatever. It's just, I mean, it's easily done. Go to the thrift store. That's your best bet. So if I make a tie for this, I desperately want to hoard this right here. Desperately. And I kind of have this idea. Let's see. I'm going to cut that. And the whole point, we're embracing imperfection here. So I think with that in mind, it would be cool to, I'm going to glue that down just a hair, just tack it down. Just on the other side of this rust.
Beautiful.
I love the fold right here. It's pretty awesome. And then I want to do this. And this. That's fun. And then they can be tied individually.
Look at you. You are so good at this.
At grunge.
So good. Just coming up with stuff on the fly and making it beautiful.
You know, what I do is just on the fly. I'm always on the fly. Okay, so am I going to ignore that window altogether? Let's push some of this back because I don't want that there. I just don't want to see it. So I can either cover it with something like that. That would be good there, I think. And this is, it's a digital kit, came with a whole page of these, and I crumpled it up and I inked it, and it's been sprayed, and you know, it looks worn. It's got some oxide ink on it on the edges, but so I'm going to go ahead and glue that down.
This is a good example. What Sharon is showing right now, if you haven't watched Rhonda's latest video, she talks about how, because she runs the scrap swap over on Makers, and she gave examples of what is a good thing to include in a scrap swap. And it was things like that have been treated, things that have been inked or roughed up or embossed or whatever. And, you know, those are interesting things you want to send along, not just something anybody can get wherever.
So I folded that on purpose right there. And I'm trying to keep some of the wrinkles in it. I don't want to flatten it back out. And then I know the strap will be about right there. So I'm going to cheat and make it look like it goes through the whole thing. I do that a lot with things because I get hoardy about it. Hoardy, that's a word.
Yep.
It is now. Where I don't want to use something or I don't want to cover something or I'm like, oh, this is so precious. And I want it to be one of the layers. So what I'll do is I'll, you know, remove it from behind whatever is covering it.
There you go.
It also will make your books close easier if you do that. So this white edge right here, this is just where I would take my, it's just sitting on my desk. I usually have one of these on my desk when I'm working for various reasons. You can drip. Just working on the fly here. Just covering some of that up. And then as a last step, I will go back over it again with some of this, but I don't want to, here, hold on. Got a little bit there. Let's see. So I'm going to put that there. Want to rough the edges up.
I was just going to say, rough up the edges on that.
Always. It's because it's been printed on a piece of matte photo paper.
Yeah, that'll work great.
Wait a minute. I don't like that. I'm going to go ahead and rip one of the edges. Let some of that white show. We'll dog ear one of them, and then I'll crumple it up. Bring it back out. And this is a good thing right here. Did you guys ever make leather out of a paper bag when you were in school? Remember doing that?
Yeah, what do they call it? The mamagami?
Yeah, I guess it's
Type of
mamagami.
thing? Yeah. So the same family.
So I'm going to leave room on the top of this because we'll make paper clips one of our sessions here. We'll do a bunch of paper clips and dangles, like smaller things. But right now we're on kind of strips and how to use them. So I want that to hang over. I'm going to get the edges of this. I'm going to glue it down first. This is where you can use all that trash you hoarded thinking, I'm going to make a junk journal. You know, this is your chance. Oh, whoops. I don't want that at the top for any pin that might or dangle that might be there. So now the reason for the wrinkles, when you go over it with ink, those will stand out because they are a feature now. Like if I will take my, like this one, and go over it this way, and it'll pick up on all the ridges and kind of creases and seams. And then when I hit it with my, it didn't glue very well, did it? Hit it with my water pen and it'll oxidize the edges. I'm sure you guys have some stuff that you've been hoarding, some scraps that are perfect for this. I just feel it in my bones. If you've done any sort of journaling, I keep putting the lid on wrong. Junk journaling, anything like that. You've got like
That's
ephemera.
So Alice says that she saw a video with someone dyeing fabric with black beans. It made 4 different colors depending on different additives.
Yeah. Yeah. Black beans are one of the original ways to dye things too. I delved into ways to dye things naturally at some point, and there are surprising results.
And do you Would you use the beans from like the dry stage?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could use them, but you'd probably want to use them dried.
Yeah.
It would be a lot cheaper if you're going to use it as dye. So
Yeah.
remember, this will dry lighter than it is. So sometimes I'll go back in and add another layer if I like how dark it is. Like I want this more exposed here. This here. All right. So where's that goes? We ain't got nothing to lose right here. On where's our piece of fabric? No, I already did it on this. All right, well, I guess we're going to find some words for that one. It's got a fit on there, and it's a couple, and she's looking at him like, what? You got to be kidding. You're joking, right? Oh, things.
Things.
That is ridiculous, and I love it.
Things with things with things.
Things.
That thing.
Yeah. So what happens is I can leave it like this, that can be tied and tucked into our little book. Or if I'm going to use this as a flap and glue that inside of a page, let's say, this will definitely need to be glued down, and I won't want these pieces right here. I'll have to cut it off. But for now, I don't know exactly how I'll be using it. I just know I like it. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that right there. I think it's time for a bit of, maybe some tickets, some, this I used over and
I
over
love
again.
that.
Yeah, I love the color. I think that's what it's about. And maybe I should use it backwards. I've got a whole box of those, obviously. I have the whole alphabet and all the numbers. I love anything in this color yellow. And it's, the old peachy color, basically. What am I looking for? I want tickets. That's right.
Rhonda says, that's how we all look these days, Sharon.
Yeah, you've got to be joking. That's what's going on.
It's like our you got to be joking resting place.
You got the look. Oh, here's an E.
Sheena Easton. Wow. Look at you. Love that. Who is
Here's a
also
green.
Scottish. Like
She
our
was?
friend Kylie.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's a nice color. Anything that's going to be the colors I'm looking for, really. I don't know why there's a piece of washi tape in there, but there is. Let's see. I like that. A lot of these came from my friend that did the junk journal kit for us. There's one that I made long ago.
I came across when I went. I hung out with Darcy a couple weeks ago. We went to this thrift store or antique store, and they had pictures of the women that were in that kit that you gifted to us.
Really?
With all the goddesses, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Did you get it?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Okay, that's good. So I'm not looking for any bright colors. And if there's something that I really like that is a bright color, I can use a transparent paint over it, whether it's a golden high flow or ink, a transparent ink, obviously. But there's a few tickets out that I can put in the box that I can take downstairs with me. That's the plan. There's more words. So let's layer a few of these on before I glue that down. So we've got this here. Let's see. And again, with the tickets, you can, well, that one doesn't, this one is actually old. You crumple it and it just falls apart.
Yeah, it is. That one's delicate.
It just falls apart. So maybe,
Perfect.
okay, let's do that. Glue stick. There we go. Put that down first. It's pretty delicate, so I think the glue stick will be sufficient. I actually need to cover this. What am I doing? Hold on. I can't do that yet. Got to cover that blue. What am I thinking? So I've got this wallpaper here that I had used on another project that I can use right here. Let's see. Maybe I need a bigger piece. Like that. I think it had bubbles on it. Okay, we'll go like this. Because the wallpaper already has glue on the back, I think sometimes they are tricky and sometimes they work great. I mean, sometimes you have to get them wet and sometimes it's enough adhesive. It just depends on how old the wallpaper is because they use different kinds of glue. So that's there. Now I can go in with this. I'm not really trying to glue my strings yet. And then this over the top. This is going to go right here. So this is a good time to use your buttons, your button cards, things like that. Would be fun. I think I'm going to get a stamp out and do a little stamping on this envelope. Just some, actually, I have music right here. Do that. This is one of those stamps that I've used so much that it's just not sticky anymore. And I've even tried the glue that you put on it to make it stick again, and it didn't work. So I've just used a glue stick and stuck it down to my thing here.
Permanent fixture now.
Yeah, it is. So I don't care about the permanence of this because I would like it to run if I sprayed it or splattered it or whatever. I'm pretty okay with that. Just a hint of that. Okay, and then I think I need one of these, where'd they go? That little thing of, right here. These little flower label things, whatever they are. I'm gonna put one of these on here, like that. Yeah, like that.
Hi, Yolande. It was great to see you. Have a great weekend.
Oh, thank you for coming. It was so nice to have you here. I really appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. I know I'm kind of lost in my little world right now. I haven't looked at the chat once. Sorry if I've missed anything, guys.
I think I've kept you up on all the,
Okay. All
all
right.
the good
Good.
stuff, you know.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what other, I want something else, maybe something small right here or something right here. I see some places for improvement, I guess, where I need a little design element or maybe even something like a button or, let me see what I got here. Maybe one of those round things that I had.
Hey, Paula, look who just stopped in. Say hello.
Paula! Hey! Paula doesn't usually get to make it to our Saturdays.
No, she's in
It's
bed
what time
already,
is
but
it? Yeah.
she wanted to say hi.
Hey, I'm so glad to see you there in chat. I was going to say see your face, but we know that, you know. So I'm digging through this, and I had just thrown some stuff in here. I've got some photos that have been copied. I've got some stuff that was just in an envelope, but I've got these that I put the glossy accents on and then cut out or punched out. So they haven't been cut out all the way. Ooh, this is a piece of foil with a sticker on the back, and then run through my embossing machine. Maybe one of these. just threw some old stuff in here, stuff that can be used. All right, let's see. And I think right there. It's piled pretty high on my desk right now. It's pretty high. It's not normally this high. Neither am I, though, so it's okay.
You know what would be really fun? Get a bunch of us together, throw a bunch of this kind of stuff onto a table, random, big pile. Everybody gets a bottle of glue, and just we all have at it, chit chat.
Oh, yeah.
And just make stuff.
Sometimes gluing stuff is the fun part,
How awesome would that be?
There's something very zen about sitting and gluing, right?
Or sitting and cutting.
Yep. I don't enjoy that as much as I do a good gluing. I'm still not feeling it. I don't like those. Something. So remember, I made these just with some strips that were on my desk, and I think this could go, like, you could glue it down and it would be a nice tab, but this is really wet right here, so not at the moment. I'm going to set that off to the side. So it's missing something, some small element. I'm going to go ahead and glue this part down, I think, because I think I don't feel like anything needs to go under that. It's a lot of layers already, so it kind of worked out. But it's missing something, and it could be a button, or I'm not sure. I don't use my buttons either. That's something I have so many of, because I was like, I can use buttons, and then I bought all the buttons, so, all the thrifted buttons and all the stuff online and all the white buttons, and then I never used the buttons. So there was like 3 pounds of antique white buttons that I bought. All different sizes. But they're heavy. Some of them were glass,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know what Darcy and I came across in our little adventure to this antique store? It's like a little antique mall. There's all kinds of shops within this, larger area. But there was a bucket of glass doorknobs. Oh,
yeah, those are great. I do have lots of those because I used to use them in stuff, but I haven't for a long time. How far apart are you and Darcy?
Well, she lives in Virginia, but she has family up here because she grew up here.
Oh.
So she has like little vacations
really cool.
she takes, and she comes along and
I know what it's missing.
She takes out one day and we just do something silly.
That's really cool that you guys have done that. How many times have you guys done that?
I think 3 times now.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. Okay, so I have this, and this mainly has fabric in it, and I put it together this morning. Just some things I threw in here. And remember the gold I stamped on it? The gold leaf from the garden? So I've got like little weird things here. Got a little scroll that would be a little too thick for what I'm doing. It needs some sort of a flower, or it might not be in here. Got a green velvet yo-yo that was in my sewing box. These things are really fun. Maybe that's what I need. Tear it. And I love that these are sewn on. There's thread on here. Something else grungy. Okay, I'm going to put this aside. And the other thing I was thinking is I have a little baggie that's got some, where's it at? It should be right here. It has like little flowers that are cut out of, say, is that it? Oh, it's got a bunch of little things that Ivy sent, not Ivy, that Violet sent me.
Mm-hmm.
That she made these little flowers with the string. She made these. Isn't Isn't that cute?
Oh yeah, I remember those.
So maybe something like that is perfect. And then that. But they need grunged. If I did that, I would probably glue them down first and then grunge them. Or I've got a whole bag of stuff that my mom brought me that was grandma's and great grandma's, and it's a bunch of hand tatted sort of lace, and this is stuff I have so much of that I never use, and this is the project to use them on, really. You know, all the grungy, crumpled up, sort of everything looks muddy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There's even several collars in here. Here's a piece of a collar. I think this is fine. And we'll glue it down and then we'll grunge it. So I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac. Or it can go right there.
So I was just saying in the chat that I think we need if anybody knows of someone with a private jet who can scoop us all up and bring us to one place that we can craft together. And
yeah,
Rhonda,
make some grungy stuff.
Needs a smoking section.
Yeah, who needs the smoking section?
Rhonda.
Yeah, me too, Rhonda. I'm still, they're gross right now, and I would like to quit, but yeah. Yeah, I'm smoking a lot less than I ever have, though, because I was a bartender for so long, and we used to even have smoking inside the bar.
Yeah,
you know, so I was surrounded by it, and it was a beat 'em or join 'em sort of thing, you know. Okay, so we are glued down. Got our strip on there with our layers. I think it's great. Because this is a mixed media junk journal, grungy junk journal, you can also do things that would be unexpected, and you can use paint. You can use, you know, your markers, any of your mediums would be fun. See, and this is a woody, so that means that I can go with the water brush and do some unexpected things here.
that reminds me. I lent my woodies to my nephew. I have to get them back.
So I'm just scribbling on here. That's all I'm doing. And then if I don't like how much is on there, because that's wallpaper, it'll come right off. Just dabbing it off on a piece of this rusty cloth that's now going to be grungier. So I really do need to let it dry. I feel like I want another one.
Those woodies are great.
I only have these colors, and I haven't figured out what the white's for yet, but it was in my stocking for Christmas. I wanted to try them first, so I put those on my list. Oh, I can
They're
grab
good on your foam stamps.
flowers. What's that?
You can use them on your foam stamps.
The white?
Yeah, if you rub you rub it on your foam stamp,
Really?
and then you spray a little water on it,
Interesting. Huh.
and then you stamp it off. It works great.
That's cool. I think I'm going to go ahead and use, this one is the chicory. And it's got more of a yellow tone to it than the other. So I'm just kind of, I might want to put some paste on that. You know, like some, it would be like IE plaster style. Come on, you can do it. There we go. It'll dry lighter too. So if I wanted to put something on there, maybe like gesso to fill in all the little holes and make it look more even or uneven, I guess we're going with.
And what is that, gesso?
Gesso, just gesso. Little gesso on your finger does miraculous things, honestly.
Yeah.
if you're grunging something up, gesso is like a must. And then up here, what I'm trying to do, because this is new, I want to get down in the little crevices of that.
Nooks and crannies.
Yep. It's about those nooks and crannies. And because it looks so shiny and new, I want it to not look shiny and new.
Like a
Ooh, that's good.
virgin.
Ooh. Madonna will sue us. If
Okay,
I
I just
break
got a
into
message
song.
from
And I
Becky,
could
and I
break
just
into
want to
song.
read it.
Okay.
So wait, so Paula sent this picture of 4 ladies dressed up as pickles, and she called them the Pickle Sisters. And so we had a little laugh about that. And then Becky just messaged me. I quote dated this guy in high school. He tasted like pickles.
Did he eat too many pickles? That's my son's nickname because his name is Dylan, and it was during the time of the Rugrats. So the other kids called him Pickles. You know, as in Dill Pickles, Dylan Pickles. Yeah.
That's
So,
cute.
He is Uncle Pickle to the kids. I mean, it was his siblings that did that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So I think this looks grungy, amazing. And that white seriously did a wonders for it. I mean, can you see?
Yeah. Pulled it all together too.
Seriously, gesso can add so much fun grunge. And then we'll decide if this is something that's tied and added inside, or if it is going to be glued down by the flap, which it'll probably be. I'll probably end up cutting it right there and hoarding this bit of rusty fabric right there. It'll still get hoarded. I mean, I'll still use it, but it'll get used in this journal. I'm going to leave all the threads. I love it. So the other side looks awfully bare and weird. What if, so I did something really simple here and even just got some tissue paper out. Let's grab some tissue paper here. Also, it needs something inside. And maybe that is like one of these. This, less crackle on that one. Well, this is something. This is a picture out of the inside of a book, and I have no idea. Parade of Men and Women held in one of the great Raymond T. Ritchie revivals held in Houston, Texas. The parade was 13 blocks long. Weird. Maybe that picture just goes inside. I think it's about the right size. If I because how else am I going to use this? I mean, it's not any subject matter that I would normally use in a different way. I mean, it's just a filler, basically.
Yeah. Something.
Yeah, so it has something in it. And then
gives the envelope a little more thickness too.
What's that?
Gives the envelope a little more thickness.
It does. When it dries, it won't be as floppy as it is right now. It's only because it's wet everywhere that it's doing that. Okay, so what if I used this and a bit of this? Pattern paper would be great right now too. Let's see. I'm looking. Hold on. Hold your horses. There. Okay. So I'm just going to get these old 17 magazines. They are, all the advertising is done in strips. You'll notice, like when you fold it over, if there's something else that you wanted, it's going to fit into that, you know, everything's done in that sort of proportion. Whoa.
That's smart.
And all I want is this bit. I don't care about her. Or, do I want to look at this? Yeah. My very first art college, right here.
Oh, no way.
The art instruction school was my very first art college. So I want to save her. I'd like to use her. So I'm going to go ahead and say this. I was 13 when I got my first scholarship.
Awesome. You started early.
I did. My stepmother was an artist and I was always bored and she was like, do this. And so I did it and we mailed it in and they flew to my house because I got a 98% on it. And if I stayed with it and not been a 13-year-old, I probably could be a cartoonist for Disney now, or, you know, whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're looking for. I mean, that's what that was about. What happened to my, there it is. Okay, so I'm gonna assume
Olga
that
is lovely. Paul is loving Olga.
Olga?
One of those chicks over there.
Do I have an Olga on my desk?
Is it one of the strips from that page you just ripped out?
Oh, maybe. Should we call her Olga? That's her, right? She's
Yeah.
Olga. Yeah, she's got to be an Olga. She's
With her
Daisy.
pointy bra.
Yeah, and her long check.
Yeah, there you go. Olga.
Look how it's shaped in
Olga
the back.
corsetry.
Yeah, would not be comfortable. And then here we have the housekeeper from the Brady Bunch.
That's Alice.
Her name is Olga. It's Olga French. How did you read that? Oh, it says
Paula
it right
saw
here.
it, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that looks like Alice to me.
Early Madonna, Rhonda says. Yeah.
Her Madonna bra. Yep. Oh, here, I was going to show you. It's a great time to take out these things. Like any of your antique ephemera. Remember, I had these rolls of paper I got that I love. I love them so much. It'd be good on the back of that.
Oh, that's cool. What's on there?
It really is. It's a Honeywell. I think Mo looked it up for us at one point when I got it. It is like a graph. Something officey.
Oh, cool.
But it's a cool, it's not tissue, it's not paper, it's kind of
It sounds really cool when you crunch it.
It does. It has a nice feel. I'll put this to the side here. So maybe I use some of this. All this crap on my desk. I don't know how you guys can see a thing. Sorry.
We can see just fine.
Okay, well, good, because I can't. It's starting to make me crazy. So I'm going to love this edge right here and kind of embrace it. And it's already torn there, so glue stick is fine for this because it's so delicate. And I don't mind. If it was a girl, I would back her and then cut her out because it's delicate. But, you know, we're using this as collage material. And I want that on the outside edge. Needs to cover these numbers down here. And I think I am going to say this flap will get glued in. So if this is on a page and this flips out, I'm thinking about it like that, and that's the top. So maybe okay, I like that. I don't want to cover up the envelope completely because it's cool. Washi tape would be great. If you've got any of those supplies that you're not using, break them out. Now's the time. And let's say I just put a little something on it. I don't want to go overboard. I'm just going to put that on it because we've got one on the front.
the wrapper noise makes Rhonda want some candy now.
I want candy. I want candy. I want candy. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this or snip it and tear it because we're going to assume that this is going to be on the inside, on the flap that's tied down or glued down. I guess this could be a part of it in the end. It could be on the opposite page. I'm going to leave it even though they're in my way. But I think that's fine. Maybe a little bit of this.
It's 10 minutes till the end of the hour.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. So
I don't know. how you
I hope that you guys are getting a vision of what I kind of have in mind here, kind of doing experiments, doing, using up the old stuff that we don't know what to do with, that's taking up space. Just let's have fun with our supplies that we're not using. So this needs covered. This right here. I'm going to break out a bit of washi for that real quick here. Let's see. This one is the right colors. I just want a little bit. It's a sticker, so I don't like storing these. And I don't have a lot of washi tape, but it's got a back on it. I don't know why they do that. I'm not really sure. So I'm just covering the blue. And then,
Oh, bye, Alice. Thanks for hanging out.
Alice, thank you so much for coming. We'll be here in 2 weeks, on Saturday, if I don't do a special live sooner, which I probably will. I have been, I've been doing extras, just because I feel like we need it right now I need it right now. My nervous system needs it right now, honestly.
A lot of us do.
Yeah. I'm just going to put that there because I can't ignore it completely. Look at that circle though. Why? Why am I covering that? Okay, maybe I'll put it here. There. And for no reason. Some more of these that I haven't used. I'm glad I found this and I'm like, it's time to use those. Hey, we can also use transparencies here. And I'm thinking my mica tile might make a really cool page even. Some of that. I'm liking the circle. I'm gonna leave this.
I like that circle too. I think
I think it's special. So I'm gonna let this dry. But I think that's pretty cool. And if it's one of our flaps on one of our 10 pages, I think it is certainly special. Need a little gesso on this side.
Paula, Sharon's making, this is a new project. She's making a flip tab book with flips.
Oh, do you want to see this?
She's got all dance moves for it and everything. For sure.
Do you want to? Yeah, I'll show you my
shrine.
sign language. This is the shrine that we just finished. I had a couple things to do off camera. Oh, and I never showed you. There's this is from a bracelet that had the Virgin Mary on it, but there's a girl. I don't know. It's a girl. I think it's a Mary in a cape. I don't know. Are you Catholic, Eddie?
Lapsed
Catholic.
Hi, Laviona.
There
Laviona Garrett is new here. She's trying to learn something new.
Oh,
I'm assuming you're she. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Laviona. Is that, how do we spell that? Hold on. I got to get
Laviona.
Wow. Well, you know what? We're always doing something new over here. I never used it. I don't necessarily have a specific thing that I do, but I certainly have a style that I do it in, whatever it might be. We just did a shrine. Now we're going to do a super grungy, not just grungy, but super, with a cape grungy book. A tab book. All right.
He says
Little finger
Laviona
painting.
it's like lasagna. It rhymes
Ah,
with lasagna. That
Lavanya.
helps.
Lavanya. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's a great way to tell us to pronounce it too. Okay, so there's my circle that I like so much there. And I'm just kind of going around some edges here. Bringing out some texture. All right. There's a couple little spots that I think I could glue down here that I'm seeing. Where is my, oh my gosh, my desk. I tell you. Okay. Little right here. Little right here. And there we have it. All right. I'm setting it off to dry. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of good fun. I keep thinking I'm done and then I'm not. Just around these edges. I could go over it with a stencil over the book pages too. That's always nice. Like a brush and a stencil. Just adding that color back in. There we go. Grungy, grungy. Super grungy with a cape. Now I want to kind of tear out. So this is all I did was collage on it, and then I put some crackle paste on it, and I put Old English on it. It was one of those envelopes, the paper envelopes that they might send a book in from Amazon, like the cardboard ones. You don't get them very often. And I don't have another one here I can show you, but it was an envelope. So there's two pieces here. I don't know. Somehow, I don't know. Something did come in it in the mail. So I'm thinking like that. It needs ironed desperately, but this was a lot of fun to collage, and yeah. So I'm just going to take this, kind of rub it across the top too. Bottom kind of has a flat edge. Now, it needs a focal point, doesn't it? Let's get one of these focal points out. Get this off my desk now, because it's got to dry. Okay, so I need one of these girls, I think, because we got to have a girl, right? It's always a girl. I know they're in here. So I do have others, but I just threw these in a box to kind of play with. Here's a family portrait that's really goofy. I like that. These are copies, and I was running out of ink, and I feel like I can do something to make these not purple, but I'm not sure what yet. So that's an experiment. Ooh, this goddess. Ooh, lady. I'm going to use that. Okay. So I know that it's almost time to go, guys. It is 3 minutes. Eddie, are you still with us?
I'm still here. Yes, I just muted for a minute.
Okay. I knew you were being quiet. You were so quiet. So we've got about 3 minutes to go. I really appreciate all of you for being here with me today. I want to see what you guys could do with paper strips. And I am no longer on Facebook for you guys to show me. If you'd like to be added to our chat thread so that you can share pictures, that would be awesome. Or I'm on Blue Sky, which I haven't spent a lot of time on there. I am on TikTok, which I love, and I do photo montages over there. But basically, I've been using our community page here on YouTube to share pictures. And I will share photos of kind of what we played with today and my piles that I collected and gathered for this project. And what should we call it, Eddie? Should it be Gold leaf and grunge? Should it be super grungy? I don't know what to call it.
Grunge with a cape. I like that.
Grunge with a cape. You like that?
Yeah. Let's go with
Super
that.
grunge, like with a cape.
Exactly.
That's funny. Oh, thanks. Yeah, and Mo has
Thanks,
the
Mo.
links right there for everyone. If you're new here, I would love if you subscribe and hit that bell, because I am live the first and third Saturday of each month. And we never know what we're going to get into, but usually it's going to be good, messy fun. And I have been throwing in extra live streams, so watch for that. And definitely follow me on TikTok for all those photo montages too. Follow the community page so you can see what we're up to. And that's where I will post the pictures of your Oracle cards as well. So thank you. Yeah, just hit all the bells. Hit all the bells. Leave a comment. You know, the things. Do the
All the
things.
buttons, all of it. It's all free.
And often we have Kylie here with us. She had an appointment today, and that's Kylie Koo. Maybe next time we will remember to ask her to say specific words for you guys, and we'll let you guys. I kind of expected that to happen before now.
There's been a more.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm already on TikTok, Livonia.
It's on YouTube. Paula, the community page is on YouTube. If you go to Sharon's YouTube page, you'll see the tab for community.
Yeah, there's, if you scroll over at the top, you have to scroll over, swipe, and it'll say community. And then you click on it, and that's where I can share photos and, Oh, thanks, Julie. I feel like it was very crowded. It was very, we're doing
a lot done.
We're doing a tab book with all the flippy floppies, and it's very crowded. That's right.
There you go. She keeps adding to the choreography of the book.
Yeah, is that what it is? It's not sign language. This is choreography.
I think it's choreography. Yeah.
And this was a good day right here. This means it was a good day right here.
Yes.
Thank you guys for being here. Yeah, messy fun. We'll land on one of those, and I'll figure it out later. But I probably won't get the pictures posted until Monday, because we have a big yard working weekend ahead of us, first nice weekend. So yeah, got to do it once, and then we don't worry about it for a while.
Exactly.
So we'll see you all later. Thank you, Eddie, for helping me today, and for being a
thank
part
you
of
for
this.
having me. I appreciate it.
We always have such a good time, don't we?
We do. This is great.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Bye.